Welcome to the channel. Thanks for tuning in to another video. This week we're going to show you guys how to install a rock light kit on your truck. Let's not waste any more time. We'll jump right into it. First thing we're gonna do is pop the hood. We're gonna test out all the lights, make sure they all work. Last thing you wanna do is hook them all up and then something's not right, one of the lights doesn't work or something goofy like that. I'm gonna hook it up to the battery, plug in all the lights right here, test everything out, make sure we're good to go, and then we'll move on to the next step. I got all the lights hooked up right now. All I did was take this harness. It already had clips on it, loosen the 10mm nut on my positive and negative. It has a built-in inline fuse, very nice. Here is our rocker switch that we got. One way is supposed to be amber and one way is supposed to be white. I peeled off one of the stickers here so you can actually see the color we're gonna get, but let's go ahead and see what happens this way. So that's our amber, obviously. And then the other way, if we go back to the center, is off, and this is true white. From what I understand, a lot of the color changing lights don't have a built-in white. It's like a mixed color, which makes the light not as bright and a little bit off color. This is white and it's super bright. Okay, everything looks good. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pods all lit up. Now that we know they work, we will just go ahead and disconnect this. This cap just unscrews, and then the connection just pulls straight apart. Now we'll get to the fun part. On the Ram 1500s here, we are going to have to take off the wheel wells to get up under there. Now if we just lay these lights out, you can kind of tell that these two bundles are a little bit smaller than the rest of these. I got the 8 pod kit. You can get 4, 8, and I believe you can get 6 as well. So with the 4 pod kit, I think you get the 2 long ones and 2 short ones. And then if you get the 6 or 8, it just comes with either 2 more or 4 more of the longer sets. That's important to note because on a full-size truck, this is just a crew cab. But still, we need a ways to get back there, routing wire and whatnot. You want to make sure you don't accidentally put one of the short ones in the back. Now, before we get too crazy and just start drilling holes and running wires, I would like to kind of mock up the lights and see what they look like. Since I have the 8 pod kit, I don't know what I'm going to do for sure. At least 1 in each wheel well. I was thinking about just doing 2 in each wheel well, but I want to break it up. And then originally I was thinking 2 on the frame on either side, but now I'm kind of thinking we do 1 in each wheel well, 1 in the center on each side of the truck, and then 1 on the front, and then 1 on the back center. Again, I just don't know what it's going to look like. I'm going to try with some zip ties, duct tape. So let's go ahead and get started on that. Okay, we got them all mocked up where we like. We're gonna turn the lights off real quick and see how they look. Now the angles and everything might not be exact right now because they are just being held up by some tape. Same thing up front here. And then straight in the front. Since we're doing this already, I'm gonna go ahead and move the center one down here over a little bit and add another one right here and see what it would be like with 1 in each wheel well, and then also 2 under the frame like we originally talked about. Just for fun, I'll go ahead and switch it over to the amber setting. So that's with the 2. This part won't be there. So we'll go with 2 under the truck and 1 in each wheel well. Pretty thankful I tried this before. I just went ahead and started mounting up the lights. I was just using this foil tape that I use at work. Now that we know everything's good, I'm gonna go ahead and pull all of the lights off. Then we can actually get to mounting everything and running the wires how we want. So let's do that. Alright guys, we got our holes drilled. Your measurements and placement is obviously going to depend on how many pods you have, what vehicle you have, what you're doing. For me, I just set the pads up to mark the holes right after this bump right here on the frame. Look down in here, make sure there's nothing in the way. One pod going here, one same on the other side. I wanted them kind of just in the middle of each door, front and back is how I'm doing it. And then back here, same thing. Right before this extra layer, got all the holes drilled. I'm using some like 1-inch self-tappers. So the 4 under here are ready to be mounted. Now we just gotta work on our wheel well placement. So we'll go ahead and get started on that. Okay, we got the passenger and driver's side lights in. For measurements, I just looked at the center of the wheel basically and eyeballed it and then held up the pad to mark them. Kind of just put them in a spot where I thought they'd work the best. These were kind of a pain to get to. I don't know if you can see that silver screw down there under the air box. That's one of the bolts. And then on the driver's side, there is the battery in the way. So I had to take the wheel well bolts out. There's a couple, I think they're 8 or 7 millimeter bolts around the outside here, and then there is one more up there. Then the wheel well is kind of loose, and I had to have Dad hold one side while I crawled up over the top and reached my hand between the battery and the wheel well in order to tighten this one down. But these two are tightened. I can go ahead and put this wheel well back where it's supposed to go. All these screws back in on the rear. We will do the same sort of thing. I already have the holes marked. We'll go through this first layer and fish down the wire towards the front of the truck. We might have to pull this wheel well liner down in order to get to the hardware. This is how I'm doing the back fender wells. I did the same idea, took out the 7 and 8 millimeter bolts that were all the way around. There were also two, one on each side, front and back, towards the inside of the truck. After you take those out, this liner kind of flops around. I was able to get it started on one side and pry it out just enough that I can work right here. I can get to the hardware we need to back there. Now I got it routed how we want, down, made sure we're not in the way of anything. So I can go ahead and just kind of work this liner back. And just be patient with it. And there you go. Now it's back in its spot and we can get all these screws and bolts back in. I'll go ahead and do the other side real quick. I won't show you guys that. Just repeat the same process over there. And then we'll jump underneath the truck. That should be the easy part. And then we get to run all the wires. I'll show you guys where we're headed while we're running all the wires up towards our harness there, and should be good to go. The pods are installed along with our steps. Go check out the step video if you guys haven't already. Now that the pods are all wired up, we're gonna hit the lights and test them out for you. Awesome. So there is obviously our white light all the way around. The 8 pods look awesome. The control arms up there looking good. I want to go ahead and turn on the running lights on the boards as well. Very cool. All goes together super nice. So white and amber are your two choices with this kit. They are both very, very bright. We will quickly show you guys the running of the wires, but real quick, I just want to touch on a couple things. These lights have a really wide throw, which if you get these, you'll appreciate. I also like that the switch that comes with it is a rocker switch. I mounted it down here, so one way is amber and middle's off, and then the other way is white. That's super helpful. The wiring, it is all plug and play. There's no tapping into wires or making your own connections. Just hook it up to the battery, run your wires, and plug it into the harness, and you're all good to go. I also like that there's no app you don't got to worry about. It's all right there in the truck. You got your 2 colors to choose from. That's it. And finally, these things are aluminum, so they are super tough. The rubber mount that they come with is really nice as well. Again, everything plug and play, really nice and easy. No real complaints. Now we'll go ahead and crawl under the truck real quick, and I'll give you guys just a little run through of how all the wirings ran. Now under the rear door, we have one mounted right there on the frame. And in the middle of the front door, same idea. Now on the inside, this is how we ran them. Just zip tied them up along the frame. The one from back here is from our rear wheel well light. Just follow them up, zip tied along the frame. There is our front light. Now we jumped over the frame towards the outside of the truck here, up along that wheel well liner, and then that's where it goes under the hood. Pops out under that bundle of wire right there, and that's where I decided to stash all the wires, right behind our box right here. Just got them zip tied out of the way, and then as you can see, I have a bunch of other wire running across here. Some of those are the rock lights from the other side that plug into the pigtail right there. And then we got my mess of a battery with the other rock lights and steps. And then yeah, exactly the same thing goes for the other side. Overall, really easy install depending on how many pods you get. More pods you get, the more wire you gotta run. Other than that, super simple. If you only want the look in the wheel wells, you can get the 4-pod kit and just do that. Don't worry about putting them on the frame or in between. Or you could put 2 in each wheel well if you wanted to get the 8-pod kit and do that. Just messing around with different layouts and whatever, like I did, and figure out what you like best. I think it's for sure the way to go. All right, guys, I'm gonna clean up this mess. That's gonna wrap up today's video. As always, I appreciate all the support. Thank you guys so much for watching. Huge shout out Last Fit. Thank you for sending us a set of these rock lights. They look awesome on the truck. I'm sure you guys will enjoy them as well. Check the link in the description for their website. Pick up a pair of their white amber rock lights. Let me know if you guys got any questions down in the comments down below. I'll try to help you out best I can. That's it for now. Take it easy and we'll catch you on the next one.